Hello everyone, this is Swati Kalra. In this video, we are going to see what are blind SQL injections. To understand what are blind SQL injections, let us first understand what are error-based SQL injections. So as the name itself says, error-based SQL injections, we try to find out some kind of error messages over here, and then with the help of those error messages, we would be proceeding to the next steps. So here we are going to follow a certain kind of approach. Let us see what is that. The first step is that we try to find out the error. The next step is called as balancing the query, which is getting rid of the error. Because until and unless you have an error on the page, you cannot proceed further. The next step is find out the number of columns. After that, we need to find out the vulnerable columns. So what is the difference between number of columns and vulnerable columns here? It is that there can be several columns present inside the table, but we want to find out only those that are getting displayed on the page. So whichever columns are getting displayed on the page, they are called as vulnerable columns. And finally, we would be finding out the data. So let us see the practical demonstration of this. The first step is that we try to find out the error. So we place a single quote in the end of the query string. We see that an error is coming up. The error says you have an error in your SQL syntax. Check the manual that corresponds to your MySQL server version for the right syntax to use near 4 at line 1. So it says MySQL, right? So at least one hint we got out of it that the database is MySQL here. The next step is balancing the query, which is getting rid of the error message. We do that by using the commenting characters. So here we are using hyphen, hyphen, space, hyphen as the commenting characters, and then the error is gone. The next step is to find out the number of columns. We can see it here itself that the number of columns are 3. So it can be possible that originally there can be more than 3 columns. So let us verify that by using the order by clause. So here we write order by 3. We are not getting any errors here. That means there are either 3 or more than 3 columns. Then we write here order by 4. Still no error. That means there are 4 or more than 4 columns. If we try to do it for 5, we get the error message. That means there are 4 columns. Now we try to find out the vulnerable columns by writing the command union select. And because there were 4 columns, we are going to write 1, 2, 3, 4. The error is gone, but nothing changes on the page. Why? Because the record that we are supplying here doesn't exist in the table. So to make the pointer point to this particular record, we have to negate the expression by placing a minus sign over here. So you can see that column number 1, 2 and 3 are the vulnerable columns, and you can find out the data that you want from here. So in MySQL, we know that there is a function which is database, which reveals the name of the database. There is a function which is user that gives the name of the user, and likewise we have version. So we get those things. This was called as error-based SQL injection. So now let us see what is blind SQL injection. Blind SQL injection is the type of error-based SQL injection in which the error is present but it doesn't get displayed on the page. So let's try doing our first step here by placing a single quote and pressing enter. So nothing happens to be changing on the page, right? But if you right click on the page and go to view page source, you would be seeing the error here. So that is the only difference that exists in between error-based and blind SQL injection. Now you can perform the rest of the steps to again find out the data out of the application. So this was blind SQL injection. I hope you liked the video. Thank you for watching.